this very special episode. If you remember, last time with the Lasco up there, I was mentioning getting back the last remaining items from my childhood. And here it is. Again, perfect matching color scheme for this room. And there's, the Lakewood over there. It just like all falls into place. These were typical 80s colors. But it's much better than the typical boring white and gray and McMansion tan of today. McMansion beige, whatever. This heater is a Lakewood model 711. I remember seeing it in the store in service merchandise, September of 1989, and for $19 or $20, I convinced my mom to buy it for me. Either she bought it for me or I had allowance money and I bought it, but she let me buy it. Okay. And the story behind this heater is I had it for close to 10 years. And you might say, well, what happened to it? Really, it's just one of those things where I stupidly got rid of it because I got tired of some things. I got rid of a lot of stuff I regret. Then because like later that year, 1999, I bought a equivalent heater, like a Holmes from Kmart. 1 or 2 years later, one of the rivets that held the heating element to the mica little board in there glowed white hot, and it just like almost burst into flames. And then after that, I had a cheap Kmart white Westinghouse one plastic heater that literally it died in a shower of sparks. Pieces of junk. This heater is Lakewood all the way, made in the U.S. in Chicago, Illinois. It is quality, though it's basically an entry-level heater for use like a desk, personal space heater. Unlike what's marketed today, yes, it is a plastic heater, but it's built very well. One thing I'll note about this, I did clean everything up. I'll go over everything I did. Actually, I'll go over everything I did right now. The heater was dirty. I actually had to take it out apart. I ran it through the parts washer because it smelled like cigarettes and burnt something. I completely removed any odors. Let it dry. Oiled the C-frame motor, and it's perfectly. It had the typical C-frame yin 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 when it ran because it was dry. It's perfectly quiet now. Now I'll go over this real quick. It is all polished up. This mark on top, it's stained, and I can't get it out. It's not that bad. I'm just going to let it go, because if I try to fix it, it'll ruin the texture of the plastic, and it'll also probably remove these, silk screened on emblems here, or, indicators. Don't know where I'm going with that, but that's really the only blemish on it. Otherwise, it's near perfect. It was really filthy, never been cleaned. So let's go over this real fast. Up here, it's the same knob they use on the Lakewood window fan. The one I have, the 18-inch high-velocity reversible, except it's brown. No pilot lamps on this one, and that's very important. I'll get back to that in a second. Up front, just basic, Lakewood. It has galvanized steel blades. Little caution, right there. Flip it around. And turning the light on, I don't know if this will help, but this shows what it looks like inside. It's very, very clean now. Probably get the focus better. But there you go. Now, I used to have my box for mine up until like 1991 or so. The reason why this is sort of recessed, the grill and these little slots here, there's an optional filter you could buy for this. Keep it clean. So yeah, it was an entry-level heater, but again, quality. And flip it upside down for this information here. If my phone decides to focus. And that's basically the tour of the heater. Now, the other part, why is this a very special episode? Is this heater very common? We couldn't find this heater. I knew the exact heater it was. We've been to thrift stores, eBay, garage sales, flea markets. Nothing. So we set up an eBay search. The more common model of this is a little bit newer. It was boring white and gray, because that's what happened in the 90s. And progressing forward into the McMansion era, boring. This is, I'm lucky this happened. At least late 80s, still had good color scheme, everything. And it goes perfect with every color scheme in this room. It's beautiful. Now, that said, why did I just grab like the white and gray one? Well, I want my exact heater. And the other part of the problem is the later ones added the 2 pilot lamps right here. One for power and one for caution if it overheated. And just like everything else, it has a bimetal thermal cutout and a thermal fuse in case there was another failure. But that said, that's it. And like I said, it's just like a personal desk heater. So yeah, now the thing that's slightly different than mine had an epic startup sound. I can't even duplicate it, try to imitate it for you. This one's much quieter. It's still slightly there. That said, we'll go ahead and demonstrate this heater, right, in its current position. So, as you can see, here it is. Here is fan cool mode. I lied. I heard it. It's not as loud as mine, but you heard those 3 woos? That's the sound. We'll do a close-up. Perfect. Now, it's nice and clean. It runs at speed. It has excellent spin down time. Never been serviced. So we'll get into that. So here's that. Now, this is going to be counterproductive because this is September 10th, 2016, and it was 90 degrees today. I have the air conditioner running. So yes, this is going to be counterproductive. But that said, we got to demonstrate this. So here's low heat. If I remember right, low heat on this should be 750 watts. I do not have the kilowatt meter here. That said, it was an even split, unlike other heaters that are like weird, like 900 and 1500 or whatever. This was an even split, 750 and 1500. And here's high heat. This is full blown. So this was my first heater. It's back. And it blends in with everything in this room. It's awesome. Sorry, I'm excited. So yeah. I just had it on. There's no smells, nothing. It's clean. That's why I love having a parts washer to do just that. It cleans every thing out of it. It smelled pretty bad when I got it, but do what we can. I'll go back to fan cool. And off. All right. Now, we'll do a close-up to hear startup sounds. But first, we'll add a little extra light on the subject. So, here is fan cool. It's kind of hard to catch it. Mine was much louder, But the woos are still there. Actually, I'm going to try some. We'll actually show the spin down from the rear. It's actually, you know, after oiling it, it's pretty good. I mean, it was dry. I'm going to take it right in high heat. Now, not that it makes that much of a difference, but the thing is, you're drawing 12.5 amps. It's on a 15 amp circuit. You can have some voltage drop. It run a little bit slower. I just want to see if I can hear any difference. So, here we go. I'm just going to crank it all the way on high heat. It's still somewhat there. And like I said, this thing moves a good amount of air. I mean, it's even pushing the curtains around pretty good. So, there you have it. The Lakewood Model 711 from 1989. So it's make nice hot air. And as I keep saying, I'm getting back everything from my childhood, and there's probably a few more small items that will be coming back, and I'll get to those in future videos. But for now, like I said, everything's really falling into place. We're just so lucky this one finally showed up on eBay. So thanks for watching, and hit like and subscribe.